Ooh. Oh, good God morning. Good God morning. Yes, it's Saturday, and folks are sleeping late. And you know what? I desire to sleep late too. I know folks are on furlough. You're probably tired of going to work because you're not getting paid, but don't do that. If you decide to do what you're supposed to do, which is work, I can understand that whole process. But whatever you do it in good faith, do it in good intentions. Ask God to guide you. Because one thing I know about furloughs is that in the end, you get your money back, whether they want to or not. Unions come in, folks do what they need to do, and eventually you get. Right now, I ask God to give you what you need to maintain and expand. There is no lack of limitation. Ask them to bless you immensely in all things. Band together, come together and share your goods. Um, I've heard that rental offices and mortgages and bills are being deferred. Everything is going to work out for your favor. For your favor. These are lessons that we have to go through to grow through. I remember, hey Pam, how are you early in the morning? I remember saying to myself, my abundance and my support, my money, my ability to pay bills and to pay invoices of services rendered. They don't come from God. It's not the job. They don't come from, excuse me, Lord, please forgive me. They don't come from your job or the work you do. God supplies all your needs. I'm going to say that again. Your supply really doesn't come from your work. It doesn't depend on your job. All my supplies come from God. Because if somebody had told me I would have been able to live the way I live on a retirement salary, I would have said, no way. And I did say that in 19. When did I graduate? When did I retire? When did I retire? Oh, no. I retired in 2008. And when they told me what I was going to be getting, I like to die. I was like, Lord, really? No. So my supply and my support comes from God, and it does for you too. So I live in the reality that there is no lack of limitation. Let me tell you a story. One time I had just bought a house. Now, I did not know when you bought a house, you had to buy a refrigerator. Sometimes you have to buy the stove. It depends on the house. I didn't know that. So when I moved to my house, I had no refrigerator. I was like, really? God, really? It didn't dawn on me. And I had just signed, the down payment that they asked for. And I didn't even have that money in the bank. I was surprised, but I wrote that check like I had it. And when the check came to the bank, the money was there. I don't know how. I can't remember. I don't think I did anything. But the one thing that I realized is that I had a child that I had to feed, and I had no refrigerator. Nor did I have any money because all my money had gone to this house. And I didn't have, so anyway, it was around the last days of school. And in the last day, hi, Joe, how are you? The last days of school, they clean out the freezers and the refrigerators, mostly the freezers. And one of the custodian workers asked me, Miss Hodge, would you like some of this food? We have to throw it away. Now, mind you, I didn't have a refrigerator. I didn't have a freezer. And I said, sure, what do you have? So he said, well, come to tomorrow and we'll get it. Okay, I hadn't moved into the house, but I was moving into the house then. And so I went out and bought this big old freezer to serve as my refrigerator. And, one of those styrofoam things that you take on cookouts and things like that. Well, anyway, I bought one of those. I put some ice in it. So the next day I went, and the guy gave me all these frozen foods. I mean, I was like surprised. And then he gave me this chicken salad, and I had a lot of it. I had enough to feed people outside my house. God is my supplier. He always comes through. He's yours too, but you have to have an undying faith. You can't cry to him. You just say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for all those things. Thank you, God, for my blessings. Thank you, God, for when I moved into my house, and I'm just rattling, right? But I just want to tell you how God works. When I moved into my apartment many years later, I didn't move in here with nothing but the clothes that I had on my back and no furniture. And I used to sleep on this mat that I had gotten from somebody had given me, like one of those futon mats. And that's what I slept on for about 30 days. But every time I would come in the house, I'd walk through the house and say, thank you, God, I'm home. Thank you for my matching furniture. Thank you, God, for my gorgeous dining room set. Thank you, God, for this great bedroom set. Thank you, God, for matching dishes. Thank you, God, for food in my refrigerator. Thank you, God. I just said thank you. And then I'd go to bed. God gave me everything. I really literally mean that. I think the only thing in the beginning when I first moved into this apartment, the only thing I bought was a bookshelf. That's it. And I think I spent $100. Everything else came to me in gratitude instead of complaints. Oh, my bed's not. Oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh, of course it's going to be uncomfortable. Growth is always uncomfortable, whether you realize it or not. But in order to grow, you have to expand. So anyway, hey, Joel, let me see what he said. Joel. She said, there is no lack. That's right. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Yes, he will. You just have to live in gratitude, live in faith, no matter what it appears. Remember, we were talking about in this whole process of the Course in Miracles about changing your thought patterns. What you see are images, and not all images are true. We have to see with the eyes of God, as Michael Beckworth says, hear with the ears of God. See beyond the physical, metaphysics. That's what it's all about. Returning to the God conscious mindset takes time. It takes practice. It takes things. It takes a willingness to do some things differently, to think things differently, even if you don't understand them. In the beginning, you won't. In the beginning, your God mind wants to tell you, oh, that's not the truth. In the beginning of this process, it is very uncomfortable. And we want to analyze it. But what the Course in Miracles says is, don't analyze, just do it. Eventually, as time goes on and you get through your 365 days and you listen to it more and more, and you pick up the book and you read it, or you listen to the audio and you do the practices, things will change. And it just changes. It changes in an instant. And I think I consider myself a prime example of that. I've been working on my consciousness diligently for 10 years. Before, I didn't even realize that I had a consciousness or an unconsciousness. Excuse me. I believed in God. I read the Bible for 30 years. I think I started when I first started teaching. Or maybe not. I started when I was 28 and I came back to the United States. Someone gave me a Bible, uh, 365 days of the Bible. But that's all right. God is amazing. Life is good. And we just have to walk in that. The world is better than what we think it is. It really is. And I hear every day evidence of that. More and more. I hear evidence of the fact that there are more good people in the world than there are bad. There are more good things happening in the world in two worlds than we put two folks all over the world. And we never, ever hear it unless we look for it, because the news doesn't report it and the papers don't write about it. But a lot of people do speak about it. So if we change our mind, change our thoughts, and change our words, things will get better. Remember, we create. Remember that beginning says, and God said. Well, he made us in his likeness and image, and we are God's. It says so in Psalms. Jesus Christ told the people, didn't you say, and I'm paraphrasing, didn't you say you're God's? Just a thought that I see as true. So today is, I see no neutral things. Remember yesterday, things we see are not neutral, meaning that they do have an effect on our world. So this idea is another step in the direction of identifying cause and effect as as it really operates in the world. Cause and effect, a lesson in how it really works in the world. You see no neutral things. I'm reading from the lesson just to let you know. Remember, I said if you want the audio, all you have to do is say I want, and I'll send it to you. As long as we're friends and message, I'll send it through message. Okay, remember we see no neutral thoughts. We have none. So we see no neutral things. It is always the thought that comes first, despite the temptation to believe that it is the other way around. We think about it, and then it happens. We think about it, and then we do it. This is not the way the world thinks, but you must learn that it is the way you think. It is the way I think or thought. I have to stay on top of my thinking. If it is not so, perception would have no cause and would itself be the cause of reality. In view of this highly favorable nature, this is hardly likely. So we think first, then it happens. We think about what we're going to eat, and then we do it. We eat it. We think about, I have to go to the bathroom, then I go. We think about, I got to go to work, and then we go. We think about how cold it is outside, and then we're cold and colder. Somebody told me, if you're cold, think about life in the Caribbean. Ooh, how nice and warm it is, how the sun is shining on your face. And I began to warm in my body. So anyway, in applying today's thoughts, you say to yourself with your eyes open, I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Let's repeat that. I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Now, this might be difficult to believe, or the feeling might be a little yucky, but the truth is, you see no neutral things because you have no neutral thoughts. Your thoughts affect the whole world. Then look about you, resting your glance on each thing you note along. Enough to say, I do not see a neutral statue because my thoughts about that statue are not neutral. Example. I do not see a neutral wall because my thoughts about that wall are not neutral. I see no neutral. I do not see a neutral body because my thoughts about bodies are not neutral. You want to practice that? Look around. I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Then look about. Glaze on this. I see no neutral water bottle because I have no neutral thoughts about this water bottle. And so on. As usual, it is essential to make no distinction between what you believe to be animated or non-animated, pleasant or non-pleasant. Regardless of what you may believe, you do not see anything that is really alive. That's another thought. Really joyous. It is because you are unaware as yet of any thought that is really true, and therefore really happy. Should I repeat that? And let me do it in my words. You don't have to make any distinction between what you believe to be animated or inanimated, pleasant or unpleasant, alive or unlive. Regardless of what we believe, we have not yet come to understand really what is alive, really what is joyous. But if we stick, we'll know the truth and therefore know the real happiness. So you only have to do this 3 or 4 times during the day. There is not less than 3. So do 3 or 4 times. And if it's uncomfortable, you can shorten it. You can do less. So what you say about that? Do you understand that we have not come to a point where things are alive to us? What is that all about? So please go like my station on YouTube. It's called YouTube Rosa Hodge. And look for me on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and then you can go back to the Facebook page. I Am Affirmations for the Living. That's what it's called. That's the name of my book. I Am Affirmations for the Living. And the reason why it's like that is because I was trying to live when God gave me this book. You know, you hear about how people say, oh, God downloaded this in my spirit. He really did download this into my spirit. I could hear words coming to my mind. And basically, and maybe the reason why I could hear them was because I could not see in this period of time that this book came to me. And yet I still did some of the things that I had to do. I still went to places. It allowed me to be able to ask others for help. Up until that point, I didn't do much asking. So I am grateful. My book is being used by different people on their shows and stuff. I got a call last week asking could they use my book in their broadcast. I am grateful. I got a call last night that someone wanted to use my shows on their radio station. Like, thank you, God. All right. So understand this. The lesson for today was very clear, and perfect, really. I have no neutral thoughts. Right? Is that it? I see no neutral thoughts because nothing I see is neutral. Nothing. I see no neutral thoughts because nothing I see is neutral. I see no neutral wall because I have no neutral thoughts about this wall. I am Rosa J, doing it God's way each and every day, and I am so grateful to say, yay, it's Saturday. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to bed. Oh, hey, yay, yay. I am grateful, and I am pleased, and I love you. Be blessed. Namaste. Namaste.